Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jacklyn and I'm very glad to have you here. In today's video, I have decided to make this reading vlog on a whim. I just got up this morning and decided that I would do this, but I think I am going to do a reading vlog of Alchemised. We're gonna do it, that's the plan. I have jumped on the bandwagon. I've joined the rest of the universe, it seems like, reading this book, so I thought that I would do a reading vlog of it. Spoiler free, obviously. I will try not to spoil anything for you, but we are going to be reading 1025 pages of Alchemised in this vlog. I am currently on page 68. I'm 6% of the way through the book and I'm very intrigued. I am very intrigued. It's giving all the dark gothic vibes. It is definitely giving the dark vibes, and it is going into summer here in Australia, so it is really not the time to be reading a book like this. It has come out the perfect time for those of you who are going into fall and winter. It has come out at the perfect time, but here in Australia we're going into summer, so it is not the vibe for reading a dark fantasy book, but I'm committed to the bit. I have insane FOMO. Everyone else is reading it. I am highly influenced, very easily influenced, so I went and picked it up and started reading it. I also think I am going to go outside and lay out in the sun for half an hour just while Iverson is asleep, while my daughter is asleep. I think I will go and lay out for 30 minutes because it is such a beautiful day today. I went to the beach earlier this morning with Iverson and we were just playing on the playgrounds and stuff. The weather is perfect. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go lay out in the sun for a little bit. And that being said, I have also downloaded Alchemised onto my Kindle, so this is going to be way easier to read than taking this brick outside with me, and I really don't want to wreck it. I'm trying to look after it. I am annotating a little bit, but yeah, I really want to keep it as nice and pristine as I possibly can, so that's why I downloaded it on the Kindle, so that I can go outside, lay in the sun and not be scared that I'm going to wreck the book. But yeah, that is the plan for today's video. I'm going to do a spoiler-free reading vlog of Alchemised, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to read this. I don't get through that many pages in a day. You know, I'm very busy. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I go to the gym, I work, so I'm very busy and I don't get through that many pages a day, but I'm hopefully going to finish this in a relatively timely manner. I have also never read Manacled. I haven't read Manacled, and I know what Manacled is about in terms of it being a fan fiction and a romance between Hermione and Draco Malfoy, Hermione Granger from Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy, and it being something to do with The Handmaid's Tale. I've never read that either. I'm going into Alchemised completely blind and I'm very intrigued, and I think it's good because I have no idea what Manacled is about and I have nothing to compare Alchemised to. So I think that's good. I feel like my perspective and my opinions because of that will be as objective as they possibly can be. Objective in a subjective way because it's my opinion, but objective going in the sense that I'm not comparing it to anything or thinking that it's something that it's not. I'm just going in blind and hopefully we'll really enjoy it, and so far I am enjoying it. I like the writing. I think it's really, really good. I'm slowly getting into the plot, but I haven't really learned anything yet or figured anything out. It's just building the world and the magic system, and I'm learning about all the characters and all the different types of alive people and unalive people. So yeah, we'll see how we go and I will update you as we get further into the book because there is a long way to go. So I'm gonna go lay out now, spend some time in the sun, enjoy a little rest period while Iverson is asleep, and I will chat to you guys later. chapter 12 in Alchemised. I'm on page 172. I feel like so much has happened, but also not much has happened. As in the world building and the magic system and the characters are all getting really, really well developed. I'm loving the world building. It's had a lot of effort put into it. I am loving the writing. I'm annotating as I go through, and I'm finding that at the beginning I wasn't annotating too many things, but as I get more into the story, I'm getting more invested and I'm annotating a lot more things, feeling a lot more emotions. I'm only like, page 172 is only like 16-17% into the story, so I still have such a long way to go, but I really am invested. I am so intrigued. There's been a couple moments already where I've been reading and my jaw has literally hit the floor, like I've just been reading and gone, oh my god. So I'm definitely invested. I'm like hanging on to every single word that they say, every conversation. I am like reading and rereading because I want to make sure that I get it all right and then I take it all in completely. I'm very hooked. I'm really hooked and I'm intrigued to see where it's going. As for what it's about, I really don't think that I will do it justice. I don't think I will explain it well, but basically you're following Helena and she is the female main character. She has been through a war. She's a healer. You know, she took care of people during the war. She healed people with her magic, and her magic is called resonance, I believe it's called. It's this kind of power where you can go into people's bodies and manipulate, say, their bones or their skin and heal them and fix them. It also revolves a lot around alchemy and different types of metals and forming different things using metals. I really don't think I'm going to do it justice, and I honestly don't know enough about it yet. Like, I'm still in the development stage and getting used to the world and how it works. It revolves around a lot of alchemy and metals and the manipulation of metals and things and using that as either like a weapon or a tool. And also resonance is the ability to go into other people's bodies and manipulate bones and stuff. There is also alive people, unalive people, and people who are immortal. I don't really know how to explain that either. It makes sense when I'm reading it, but now trying to sit here and think of a way to explain it, I'm really struggling. I kind of think of the immortal people kind of like vampires, but they're not vampires. They're not drinking blood or anything like that. There's immortal beings and they have the ability to transfer themselves into unalive people. So say their body, their immortal body, gets really, really badly injured in a fight or in the war or something like that. They can then take their soul and pick an unalive person, pick who they want, and put their soul into that body, because it's essentially just a body, it's not a real person. So they can put themselves into the person and then walk around like normal, but they obviously look completely different. They're in a completely different body. And then the unalive people are kind of like zombies, really. Like, they're unalive, but then they use some type of magic or alchemy and some type of power to animate their bodies. They call it reanimation, and they animate their bodies so that they are basically slaves and do free labor for the government or for the people that are higher up in the society. So that's kind of like the world and the magic system. I'm so sorry if I completely butchered that. It's really hard to explain and I don't know enough about it yet. But from there, you're following Helena, and she was in some sort of like tank that was preserving her body, and she was conscious within the tank, but she couldn't move or see anything or do anything. And she was in there for 14 months. And then finally, the like government system or people in power now found her, and they found her alive and discovered her. So then they started performing all these tests, and they started asking her questions and wanted to know all this information and find out who she is. From there, from doing all of those tests and working on her body, they confirmed that her mind has been altered to remove memories, to block memories, so that she can't actually answer their questions and give the information that they're seeking. And she was part of the resistance. She was part of the team that they were fighting against. The people in power were fighting against her, and she was quite high up in that team. So she apparently is like an asset to them, and they want to understand her memories and what she went through and what kind of secrets she may be hiding that could potentially harm them or be their downfall or even help them. And they want to know what her secrets are. So because her mind is completely blocked and it's like a maze that they can't get through using resonance and using the powers that they have, she gets sent to this guy who's called the High Reeve. She gets sent to him, and it ends up that she recognizes him, and they went to school together. They studied in the same school. I can't remember what it's called. It's not school, but like they did the same study in this institute, in this big thing. She was becoming a healer, and he is obviously becoming something else, but they trained together in the same institute, and she recognizes him, but she like hates him, is adamant that she hates him. He is awful. He goes around people. He's employed to get rid of people and remove them if they've been part of the resistance, or that people in power don't like them, or whatever it is. He is paid to go around and get rid of them. So she gets sent to his house, and he has this ability, the ability to go into people's minds and look inside their brains and kind of alter what's going on in there, and it's called transference, I believe. She's forced to live there and be kind of like a prisoner in the space, and that is basically where I'm up to. Is she has been sent to his house. She is undergoing this transference, and it makes her really sick, and it's not going well, and they're trying to figure out how to make it work and how to get all of her memories unblocked. That is basically where I'm up to, and they're starting to form, I wouldn't say it's like a connection, but they're getting to know each other, and she is hating him. She doesn't like him. She thinks he's repulsive, and he is quite nasty and mean to her. He acts like he does not give a crap about her at all, and I can see it slowly building some sort of connection, but some crazy stuff has also happened. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot of little parts to decipher and figure out, but I'm absolutely loving it. Like, I would hate to get to the end of this and not rate it 5 stars, because, you know, 1025 pages is a lot of pages to get through. It's a lot of pages that you're spending with characters and building quality connections with these characters. So I'm really, really hopeful that I'm going to love it all the way through. And it is dark. I can feel that it's going to even get more dark than what it has been. And I'm not a dark romance or a dark fantasy, any sort of dark topics. I'm not one for that, but I'm really enjoying this. So maybe I'm, you know, gonna branch out in the future and read some more dark romance or some more dark fantasy and dark gothic fantasy. It definitely gives all of those vibes. It's very gothic, it's very dark. You know, the manor that she's in, this huge mansion, is dark and dusty and scary. It's snowing, it's winter. It just gives all that dark gothic vibes, as well as some of the gruesome and toxic, traumatizing things that are going on within the world is obviously dark and gothic as well. As soon as I open it up, I'm like, I'm just sat here, I'm very invested. I don't want to look at anything else. I don't want to look at my phone. I just want to sit here and read. But it's a very large book. It's got a lot of words on every single page, so it's taking me a while to get through, but thoroughly enjoying and can't wait to see where it goes. I hope I continue to enjoy it, but I just know that there's going to be some like traumatizing and toxic things going on. Can you put this in books? Clearly you can. Clearly you can put this in books, but oh my god. Oh my god. No. No, 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 no. Ignore that stuff in the background. I look at that in every single one of my videos. My ironing board, my vacuum cleaner, and old packing boxes that just have random stuff in them, and I have nowhere to put the stuff. I look at that section in every single video and I just clearly don't care enough to move it or change it and make it look better. So just ignore that. It is time for a reading update time, and I am this far into Alchemised. I'm on page 613, and it works out to be around 60% of the way through the book, so I'm getting close. Still got a long way to go, just over 400 pages to go. I'm hooked. I'm like big time hooked. I'm very intrigued to see what is happening. I'm in part 2, and part 2 finishes on page 853. About 250 pages to go until I finish part 2, so I think I will definitely try and film the last like 50 or so pages of part 2, because I know it's probably going to destroy me. But yeah, oh my god, I'm hooked. I'm hooked big time. I really want to know what's happening. I am annotating like crazy. I don't know if you'll be able to see my tabs, but there is heaps. I started annotating when I first started reading it, and I've noticed that at the start I was still annotating, but I wasn't annotating as much as what I am now. It feels like as I've slowly gotten more into the story and further in, and like really gotten to know the characters and their behaviors and what's going on in the background, like their traumas and what's in their minds, I have been annotating a lot more. And yeah, the annotations just get more and more as I go through the book, so I am loving it. My entire camera roll on my phone is just annotations and quotes and stuff that I've taken photos of. The first part, so part 1, let me try and find where part 1 ends. So part 1 is almost 300 pages long. This is part 1 here. I will say that part 1 was amazing. I was like, wow, amazing. The slow burn between these two characters is like jaw on the floor a couple of times, because I've just been like, oh my god, literally loving it. I love a slow burn. I am obsessed with slow burn romance, and the slow burn has been really, really, really good. So I don't know how to really explain it without giving spoilers, but like part 1 is kind of like one story, and then part 2 is another story. Same characters, same setting, like same world, etc, etc, same magic system, but it's like 2 different stories, 2 different times within the world. And going from part 1 and the intensity that it built up to, really, really intense towards the end of part 1, as it was intended to, I suppose, and it got really, really intense. And then going from part 1 into part 2, I definitely felt a real shift, as in part 2 for me was like slow to get into. It felt like I was starting another book, so it felt like I had read a book and it got really, really intense and kind of ended on a cliffhanger, and then I was starting part 2 and it was like restarting another book and trying to get invested and get into another story and another book. But now that I'm pretty much over halfway in part 2 and only have 200 pages in part 2 to go, I have definitely gotten back into that investment, and I'm really wanting to know what's going to happen and where the characters are going and what's happening and what's going on. I still don't fully understand the magic system or the world. Like I can't wrap my head around it completely. When it's being described and when things are going on, I'm definitely like understanding, like I know what's going on, but the different definitions of things and the different words for things, I haven't fully wrapped my head around it, because I'm just not 100% sure what the difference is in between the different names for the magic system. And like our main character, she is a healer and she has a certain type of power where she can help regenerate the body and regenerate it to being healthy and alive again. So say you have like a cut on your arm or something like that, she can kind of like stitch it back together with her mind and with her power and make it so that you never had a cut on your arm at all. And then there are other powers within that ability of like being able to control other bodies or being able to dive into the mind, and it's a very, very intricate system. It's got a lot within it and a lot of different aspects. Like some people have fire power, other people have the ability of immortality, and it is very, very intricate, and I love it. I love the world building and I love the intricacy of it, but it definitely makes it a little bit difficult to fully grasp and fully wrap your head around. And it's all involving like metals and alchemy, things that I really don't have a lot of knowledge in and a lot of understanding of, but it's being explained really well and the world building is stunning. I'm loving the atmosphere and how gothic and dark and dreary it is, and winter and rain, and it's described really, really well. It's like beautiful but dark at the same time. Yeah, I'm just really, really enjoying it. I would hate to get all the way through this and not give it a 5 stars or a 6 stars. I just really want to love it a lot, and so far I am really loving it. It is quite difficult for me, especially with a book of this size. Like the sheer size of this book is unheard of, and because it is such a large book and me living the lifestyle that I do, as in being a mother and working and training every day, you know, I go to the gym every day, I work every day, I look after my daughter every day, I'm very social, like I go out and I'm busy and I'm doing chores and I'm doing jobs and blah 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 blah, all of those things that are just normal life. I find it very hard to like sit down and binge this book like I'm wanting to. I would love to sit down and just be able to read like 200 pages in a day, but it just doesn't work like that in my life. Like I just can't, I don't have the time because I have other priorities. You know, I have my daughter and I have my husband and I have my friends and I have other priorities within my life that come before me sitting down and reading. If this was my full-time job, then absolutely, but it's not, and it does make it a little bit hard to get through an over 1,000-page book in a week. So it's already been nearly 2 weeks of me reading this and I'm only on page 600. So I don't know, I get a little bit disheartened in that sense of like I can't really fully dive in and immerse myself in the book, because when it gets to nighttime, when everyone's asleep and I have time to sit down and read, by the time I sit down and read a few pages, then I myself am tired and want to go to sleep. So I do get a little bit disheartened in that sense of like I can't just sit down and read and read and read and fully dive into the world, and because then I think if I could do that, I would be understanding the world a lot better and I would be loving the story even more than what I already am, because I would just be completely entwined and my brain would be fully immersed in the story and in the atmosphere of it. That being said, it's not that deep, it's all fine, and I will eventually finish the book and I will eventually get through it, and I'm still invested and I'm still immersed in the story. I just don't get to read massive chunks of it at a time. I just get maybe like 20 or 30 pages here and there. So that is my update on Alchemised. I'm really, really enjoying it, and hopefully it keeps going up and up from here. I'm just settling down and getting ready for bed. I'm having a cup of tea and I am on page 180 of Alchemised, which means I only have 33 pages to go until I finish part 2, and it's getting intense. Okay, so we're gonna sit here and finish part 2. Chapter 65, we have 20 pages to go. I'm gonna brush my teeth, get into bed, and we'll continue reading. Okay, today is the day. I vow, I swear, yes. I solemnly swear and vow that no matter what, I am finishing this book. I am finishing this book today. We're just sitting outside having some afternoon time, playing outside, watching the sun go down, and I'm going to sit back and continue reading and hopefully finish the book. But if not, I will definitely finish it tonight before I fall asleep. I'm so ready for it to be done. Let's get it done and then we can chat about it afterwards. I take that back. I'm actually on page 983, but I was reading on my phone before and my Kindle hadn't updated. Page 983. Also got my nails done. Light blue because Jared and Iverson and I are actually going on a little family vacay tomorrow for a few days. So I thought that would be fun, summery, nice colour. Not too bright, but very summery. I'm so excited to go on vacation as well. Help but feel that something there's a fly. The worst thing about living in Australia is flies. I can't help but feel that something awful is about to happen. I feel like the story is coming to a close and kind of like they're sort of getting their happy ending, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's gearing up for like the most heartbreaking thing in the world, and I don't know if I'm ready. Yes, baby. You got your bite? Go beep beep. Beep beep. But yeah, I can't help but feel that it's just gearing up for heartbreak. And I don't know if I'm completely ready for it. But I'm already thinking that it's coming, so maybe I am ready for it. Hi, Mookie. You're gonna help me through this heartbreak. Some of these quotes are actually getting to me. She just said, oh, these flies are doing my head in. I think I always saw running away as the destination. I never actually thought about what would be left of me by the time I got there. I finished it. I did it. 1,025 pages. I'll repeat it. 1,025 pages. I have never read a book over 1,000 pages, and I did it. This is the book that got me to read over 1,000 pages. Boy, oh boy, was this a journey, a beautiful journey, a devastating journey. There's almost not enough words in the English language for me to describe this book to you, probably because I don't know that many words. My vocabulary is not that big. This was immaculate. I hesitate when I say that because I do have, what would the word be? Not negatives, but I have some notes, I guess. I have things to say. I don't know where this falls in like the romantasy genre, fantasy romance, dark fantasy romance, dark romantasy, gothic romantasy. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know where it falls in that, but the vibes of this, stunning, amazing. Loved them from the get-go. Loved the setting, loved the scenery, loved the world building. The world building in this is so good and so fascinating. I was immediately drawn into the world and the way it all worked, the magic system, how the characters functioned, the world building. I will rave about the world building because I think it was so good. I just want everyone to see all of my tabs. I truly went crazy on the tabs. Let's get into the nitty-grittiness of this. I did give this 5 stars. 5 stars. I argued with myself from the get-go, literally from like page 20 or something. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna give this 5 stars, because you can tell early on how you're feeling about a book, and it either gets better or it gets worse, or it just kind of stays in that middle range zone. I was instantly drawn in. I was instantly fascinated. I wanted to know what was going to happen. I knew that I wasn't going to DNF. What was I saying? I knew that I wasn't going to DNF. Like, I was definitely drawn in and fascinated enough that I was not going to put this down. I was definitely going to finish the story and see where it went. I was just very like, will I rate it 5 stars? Because I was hoping to rate it 5 stars. I think going into a 1,000 page book, you're always hoping that you're going to love it and rate it 5 stars. You don't want to sit through 1,000 pages and not enjoy it. So yes, I did rate it 5 stars. I do think it is an immaculate piece of work and piece of art, and I really loved it. Do I think it needs to be 1,000 pages? No, I don't think it needed to be 1,000 pages. Did I enjoy those 1,000 pages? Did I eat up those 1,000 pages? Was I engrossed in the story? Yes, absolutely yes, I was. I just don't think it needed to be this long. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but for context, let's have a little bit of context, shall we? Everyone loves a bit of context, me especially. This section is part 1. Further context, just give me a moment. This section is part 2, and this section here, this small section, is part 3. So part 3 is only around 100 and something pages, 170 pages maybe. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to get across with showing you the different sections of the book, but what I really struggled with is the fact that part 1, I was like, oh my god, this is fantastic, I'm intrigued, I want to know what's going on. It gives you all the world building, it gives you the setting, it gives you some of the backstory, and then you're following the journey of the 2 main characters, our female main character and our male main character, and how they come together and are dealing with the situation that they're dealing with. The way that part 1 ends is kind of on a bit of a cliffhanger. So then you have to go into part 2 and read through all of part 2 to finally get to part 3 where the cliffhanger picks back up where it left off. For me personally, part 1 was really good, and I was very engrossed in the story, and then ending on the cliffhanger, starting part 2, I got a bit thrown out of the story in terms of it was a new setting, it was new characters, it was a different relationship dynamic, there was different things happening, it was a different time frame, a different setting and different characters, and it was like starting a whole entire new book within the book. Now, it all makes sense for the story and for the plot and how it all comes together at the end. It does make sense. I won't take that away from the story. It did make sense, and it all adds up beautifully in the end. But that being said, finishing part 1 and starting part 2, it took me a long time to get into part 2 because I simply felt like I was starting an entire new story with an entire new world, and it just really disconnected me. Finding it a bit boring, for lack of a better word. I was definitely like slumping out a little bit. I knew that I just had to get through that initial starting of part 2 to get back into the story and see where it would go from there. And I did. I definitely did. So just fair warning, if you haven't read it, maybe you'll feel that initial slumpy feeling at the start of part 2, and then you build back up into the rest of the story and it all comes together at the end and it all makes sense and it's wonderful. Potentially my only con with the book is that slumpy feeling that I had that those moments of boredom and those moments of disconnect that I had within the story. But as for the writing and the plot, the characters, I really, really loved them and really adored them. I definitely was drawn to the writing style, like with all the tabs that I annotated in this book. I'm definitely drawn to the writing style. I love when I can highlight quotes and words that make sense in my brain when it's getting its point across and it just hits me in the chest. I love that kind of writing. I love when it is talking about a life lesson or an emotion, a feeling, and it really just really gets to me and really makes me feel that inside my chest and reflect on my own life, those feelings, or have empathy towards some situation in my own life that I maybe didn't have empathy for before. I love the writing style. So, and I do have examples of that. If you think that quotes from books are spoilers, maybe skip this part, but if you enjoy quotes and listening to quotes from the story to gather a sense of the writing style, then I have a couple of examples for you. He had reminded her that she was human, that not every trait and ability and quality she possessed only mattered in so much as it was useful to someone else, that she was allowed to breathe sometimes. Now, in his absence, she felt herself suffocating. Stunning, stunning. Here we are. It felt like a dream. One wrong move and it would all dissolve. Even staring at him, she could not shake the feeling that it wasn't real. And even if it somehow was, then it would not last. And I've got one more. I love this one. I love this. I think I always saw running away as the destination. I never actually thought about what would be left of me by the time I got here. Damn. Wrapping that all up, 5 freaking stars. So good. I don't think it needed to be 1025 pages, but I absolutely devoured the pages. If you're thinking about picking this up and you love fantasy and you love romance and you love dark gothic atmospheric setting and places, pick this up. It is so good. The floppiness, the way this book is made, stunning. The sprayed edges, I really want a special edition now, and I'll probably spend $70 on one book to get it. This is a new favorite of mine, absolutely. And I'm also just really proud of myself for reading 1025 pages. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. And it took me like 3 weeks, which is a long time for me because I normally get through like 3 books in a week. So I'm just very proud. But yeah, this is a new favorite possession of mine and it's going on the shelf. That is it for my reading vlog of Alchemised. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book, as you can see, and I really want to do more of these in the future. I love reading vlogs. They just take me a bit to film and edit with everything else that I have going on in my life. They are the most time consuming and the hardest for me to get out to you guys, I guess. I would love to do more. It's not really feasible for me to do more, but yes, I absolutely love doing reading vlogs and hopefully I will get more out to you soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this vlog and if you enjoyed watching me read Alchemised, please give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of me and discuss books with me. If you've read Alchemised, please leave a comment down below. I would love to chat more about it. I would love to have book friends that I can talk to all the time, and yeah, I just really had a lot of fun making this. So please subscribe, please like this video if you did enjoy it, and I really hope to see you in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and I will see you next time. Bye!